Welcome back to the channel. Inflation. It's the word on everyone's lips right now, affecting everything from gas prices to grocery bills. And in the midst of this, former President Donald Trump has a solution. Increase America's oil production and voila. Problem solved, inflation defeated. But is it really that simple? Spoiler alert, it's not. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into why Trump's claim that boosting domestic oil production will solve inflation is fundamentally flawed. We'll unpack the complex relationship between oil, inflation, and the broader economy, and we'll explore what really needs to be done to tackle inflation effectively. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is inflation? Simply put, inflation is the sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services over time. It's measured by indices like the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, and it comes in different forms, like demand pull, cost push, and built-in inflation. Right now, the U.S. is facing a perfect storm of inflationary pressures. We've got supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and even global events like the war in Ukraine pushing prices up. Sure, energy prices, like oil, are part of the picture, but they're far from the whole story. Now let's talk about oil. Historically, yes, oil prices have influenced inflation. Remember the oil crises in the 1970s? But here's the thing. The world today is very different. Oil is a globally traded commodity, and even if the U.S. cranked up its production, it wouldn't necessarily bring down global oil prices in a significant way. Why? Because we're part of a global market. Prices are set by factors way beyond what happens just within U.S. borders, like decisions made by OPEC, geopolitical tensions, and global demand trends. Even if more oil were pumped out of the ground here in the U.S., it wouldn't solve inflation. Why? Because oil prices aren't the only thing driving inflation. We've got rising housing costs, food prices, wage growth. All of these are major contributors to the inflation we're seeing today. And here's another kicker. Increasing oil production takes time. You can't just flip a switch and flood the market with oil. By the time production ramps up, any short-term benefits might be too little, too late. Plus, let's not forget the environmental and long-term economic costs. Focusing solely on fossil fuels could set back efforts to transition to renewable energy, leaving us more vulnerable to future price shocks and environmental disasters. So, if boosting oil production isn't the answer, what is? Well, we need a more comprehensive approach. First, there's monetary policy. The Federal Reserve can help manage inflation by adjusting interest rates, making it more expensive to borrow money, which cools down consumer demand. Second, let's fix those supply chains. The pandemic messed them up big time, and getting goods flowing smoothly again would ease a lot of the pressure on prices. Then, there's smart fiscal policy, like reducing deficits and targeting subsidies where they're really needed. And finally, we can't ignore the energy transition. Investing in renewables and energy efficiency not only addresses environmental concerns, but also helps stabilize energy costs in the long run. So, what's the takeaway here? Trump's idea to increase oil production as a silver bullet for inflation is way too simplistic. Inflation is a complex beast with many causes, and solving it requires a multi-pronged approach. We need to address the root causes, whether that's by improving our supply chains, smart fiscal policy, or investing in a sustainable energy future. It's not just about drilling more oil, it's about thinking bigger and smarter. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the big issues shaping our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.